Welcome to Hero Villains. In your opinion, IceMan versus Subzero, the two greatest masters of ice, hailing from two completely different universes, wielding the most ancient and fearsome elemental power, the ability to control ice. They are not merely power users, they are the very embodiment of winter itself, of an absolute cold capable of freezing all life. On one side is Marvel's Omega-level mutant, a founding member of the X-Men, who has evolved from a joking youngster into an icy entity with the ability to manipulate thermodynamics at the molecular level, a being who can freeze hell itself and reconstitute his body from water vapor in the air. IceMan. On the other side is the Grandmaster Assassin of the Lin Kuei, the legendary warrior of Mortal Kombat, who has fought through countless death tournaments and faced down gods, wielding cryomantic powers passed down through generations, and the ability to freeze his opponents in the blink of an eye. Subzero. Who will be the master of winter?
Robert Bobby Drake was born and raised in Long Island, New York. From a young age, his power manifested frighteningly when he accidentally froze a school bully. Rejected by his parents for being different, Bobby found his true family at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, where he became one of the 5 founding members of the X-Men. In those early years, IceMan was often dismissed as the team's least promising member. He was a cheerful young man, a prankster, and used his powers in a rather simple way, creating ice blocks, ice slides, and throwing snowballs at his enemies. But deep inside, Bobby Drake lay a terrifying power that even he was afraid to face. He feared his own abilities, feared losing control and becoming a monster. This very fear held him back for decades. Previously, Bobby Drake often failed to grasp the full scale of the power he possessed. However, over time, through rigorous training with his fellow X-Men and countless brutal, near-death battles, he gradually unlocked his full, suppressed potential. Bobby understood that his ability was not merely creating or manipulating ice. In reality, he can manipulate thermodynamics at a molecular level, controlling the heat transfer and energy of matter with extraordinary precision. He is capable of lowering the temperature of any object to near absolute zero, nearly halting molecular motion and disabling all physical activity. Bobby can also convert his entire body into organic ice with a completely stable structure. This state grants near absolute survivability, allowing him to regenerate his body from the smallest shards of ice, from water vapor in the air, or from any water source present in his surrounding environment. In many battles, Bobby has blockaded and frozen entire armies in an instant, erected colossal ice structures on a scale beyond imagination, and created frozen zones spanning thousands of kilometers. When his full power is unleashed, he can even threaten to plunge an entire planet into an ice age, altering the environment on a global scale. This potential has led the most powerful entities of the Marvel Universe, such as Apocalypse and the Celestials, to publicly acknowledge Bobby Drake as one of the most powerful mutants to ever exist. IceMan possesses the ability to control the ambient temperature around his target with extreme precision. Through energy beams released from his palms, Bobby can rapidly extract all heat from matter, causing the temperature to plummet to extreme lows and freezing everything in a split second. Conversely, he can also adjust the temperature in the opposite direction to melt the ice he has created when necessary. The sudden freezing process causes the molecular structure of the target to become rigid, brittle, and lose its inherent durability. With just the right amount of physical force, those objects will shatter into countless pieces. Bobby can also create crystalline ice structures of extreme hardness and density. He controls the formation of each crystalline layer at the molecular level, giving his ice constructs astonishing stability and making them nearly impossible to destroy with conventional attacks. From massive defensive walls and razor-sharp weapons to structures of colossal size, everything is formed almost instantaneously and maintains exceptional durability. This ability bears many similarities to the hard light constructs created by the Green Lanterns, but instead of using willpower energy, Bobby builds everything from perfectly controlled crystalline ice. IceMan's greatest leap forward is his ability to completely transform his body into organic ice. Previously, he merely coated his body with a thin layer of ice resembling packed snow, then continued to increase its density to take on the appearance of a solid block of ice. Now, Bobby has far transcended that limit, as his entire body is genuinely converted into living ice. Combined with his ability to control moisture and water in the environment, he can freely alter his shape, expand his size, or restructure his body in any way that suits the combat situation. Even if his ice body is crushed or separated into multiple pieces, Bobby can rapidly regenerate and restore himself to a complete state from the remaining ice shards or from the water vapor present in the air. This extraordinary regenerative ability makes Iceman incredibly difficult to destroy. Iceman's most terrifying capability is his power to create ice duplicates with independent consciousness. Each duplicate possesses abilities nearly equivalent to the main body, capable of fighting, coordinating tactics, and wielding the full extent of icy powers just like Bobby Drake. This allows him to swiftly overwhelm opponents with sheer numbers, turning a single confrontation into a battle against an entire army forged from ice. Even in arid desert regions, he can still extract the scant moisture present to create ice and exercise his abilities. In Earth's conditions, where water is present virtually everywhere in various states, Iceman almost always has an abundant resource to draw upon. However, in the vacuum environment of outer space, lacking water vapor and free water molecules, his abilities would be significantly affected as the material source for creating ice becomes extremely limited. Iceman's true potential was clearly demonstrated when Emma Frost seized control of Bobby's body. In that state, Emma tapped into his power on a scale far exceeding what Bobby typically displayed, using his Omega-level abilities to overwhelm the members of the X-Men. This event proved that with absolute mastery, Bobby could certainly reach a similar scale of power without any external assistance whatsoever. Iceman's abilities allow him to extract heat energy from water vapor in the air and instantly crystallize it into ice in any shape he desires. From weapons, shields, and colossal structures to highly complex constructs, everything can be created in a split second. In one demonstration of particularly large-scale power, Bobby even froze all of hell itself, proving that his range of influence far exceeds the normal limits of a mutant. Furthermore, he is completely immune to extreme cold, suffers no harm from freezing temperatures, and always operates at maximum efficiency in icy environments. Robert Drake's abilities are similar to those of Storm. Although at first glance it might seem rather simple, the power to create ice, it is far more complex and profound than such a seemingly straightforward ability would suggest. Sinister, a genius whose knowledge of genetics and mutations surpasses even Tony Stark's expertise in weapon engineering, claims that he cannot even understand how they work. The ice structures created by Bobby have reached extraordinary hardness and stability, sufficient to restrain even Juggernaut, an opponent renowned for his nearly unstoppable strength. Bobby throws a punch carrying immense cryogenic energy, creating a wave of ultra-low temperature that spreads across the area. The heat in the surrounding space is drained at a terrifying rate, creating a freezing phenomenon that engulfs the entire environment and sends Juggernaut hurtling into the air with tremendous impact force. He once completely froze a nuclear reactor right at the moment of detonation, halting the energy release process by lowering the temperature to extreme levels in an instant. In another battle, Iceman froze every single atom that made up the body of Legion, the Omega-level mutant possessing hundreds of personalities with countless different abilities. In his confrontation with Terrax the Tamer, the empowered herald of Galactus, Iceman once again demonstrated an astonishing scale of power when he successfully sealed a portion of the Black Winter. This is a cosmic entity capable of devouring universes and multiverses, and one that once posed a serious threat to King Thor. That Bobby was able to isolate and contain a portion of this entity showed that his cryogenic powers can affect energy sources at a cosmic level. Additionally, Iceman can create ultra-low temperature blasts capable of freezing an entire area in a split second, and also summon a giant ice colossus of a massive scale comparable to a Susanoo. This colossal ice entity is formed almost instantaneously, possesses overwhelming strength, and becomes a gigantic weapon that allows Bobby to completely control the battlefield.
I really hope you will subscribe to the channel. It would help us out a lot, and you are the most wonderful person. Thank you so very much.
Now let's talk about Subzero, the Grandmaster of Ice. Kuai Liang was not born with the power of a god. He had to fight, sacrifice, and overcome countless trials to reach the pinnacle of cryomantic power. Kuai Liang is a member of the ancient cryomancer lineage, a race of warriors from Outworld who possess the ability to control ice. This race has been nearly driven to extinction, and their last descendants found refuge in Earthrealm, becoming part of the legendary assassin clan, the Lin Kuei. Kuai Liang and his older brother, Bihan, the first Sub-Zero, were raised to become elite warriors. Bihan was the original Sub-Zero, but he was killed by Scorpion during a Mortal Kombat tournament. To honor his brother and carry on the legacy of his lineage, Kuai Liang donned the mask and became the second Sub-Zero. Unlike his brother, Kuai Liang is a man of honor and compassion. He seeks to atone for the sins of the past and reform the Lin Kuei into an organization dedicated to protecting Earthrealm. Sub-Zero's power does not come solely from his cryomancer blood. It has also been forged through decades of martial arts training in Mortal Kombat. He is a master of Lui He Quan, an ancient fighting style, and has seamlessly integrated it with his cryomantic power. He has fought through countless Mortal Kombat tournaments, facing the mightiest warriors from every realm, from Scorpion and Raiden to Shao Kahn and Shinnok. He has died, been resurrected, and grown stronger each time. He is not just an assassin, he is a grandmaster, a protector, and one of the greatest warriors of Earthrealm. Kuai Liang can manipulate ice to an extraordinary degree. He can generate ice from his palms, freeze opponents with a single touch, and forge razor-sharp ice weapons such as swords, axes, and spears. He can create ice balls to hurl at enemies, ice traps on the ground, and ice walls for defense. He can also create ice clones of himself to deceive opponents and attack from multiple angles. His most signature ability is the Ice Ball, a sphere of cryo energy that can freeze an opponent's entire body solid for a few precious seconds. He is one of the most skilled martial artists in the Mortal Kombat universe. He has mastered Lui He Quan and many other fighting styles, capable of unleashing rapid combo chains with astonishing speed and precision. He does not rely solely on his cryomantic powers. He is a complete warrior who can defeat opponents with his bare-handed skills alone. His combat experience is unparalleled, having endured countless life or death battles against the most powerful foes of the multiverse. Sub-Zero possesses superhuman physical strength, allowing him to punch through stone, hurl opponents across rooms, and even tear enemies apart with his bare hands. Fatality. He can withstand horrific attacks, including blows from gods, and continue fighting. His endurance is extraordinary. Beyond his cryomantic powers, Sub-Zero also possesses several other supernatural abilities. He can teleport short distances, appearing behind his opponent to deliver a surprise attack. In some iterations, he also has the ability to manipulate minds and souls inherited from the mystical elements of the cryomancer lineage. He is also capable of resisting psychic attacks and magic thanks to his iron will and discipline. Sub-Zero has defeated countless legendary warriors throughout the Mortal Kombat tournaments. He has bested Scorpion, his arch nemesis, on multiple occasions. He has clashed with gods such as Raiden and Shinnok and survived. He has led the Lin Kuei against the invading forces of Outworld and the Netherrealm. One of his most memorable feats was freezing an entire city in a fit of rage, demonstrating the immense latent power of his cryomancer bloodline. Now, let me give you a direct comparison and battle analysis. This is a clash between two masters of the same element, but with completely different approaches and power systems. In terms of sheer cryokinetic ability, Bobby Drake vastly surpasses Kuai Liang. He can generate a far greater volume of ice over a much wider range and with more sophisticated control at the molecular level. While Sub-Zero can create an ice ball to throw, IceMan can conjure an entire blizzard. While Sub-Zero can create an ice wall, IceMan can raise an entire ice fortress. IceMan's power is infinite and nearly godlike, whereas Sub-Zero's power, while formidable, still has limits. However, there is a crucial factor to consider: resistance to freezing. Sub-Zero is a cryomancer. He possesses a natural resistance to cryogenic powers. He has withstood ice attacks from other cryomancers and even from more powerful versions of himself. But IceMan possesses the same resistance at an even higher level. In his organic ice form, he is the very embodiment of ice. Trying to freeze IceMan would be like trying to make water wet. Combat skill. This is Sub-Zero's clear advantage. Huai Liang is one of the most skilled martial artists in all the realms, with decades of life-or-death combat experience. His skill lies not just in using his power, he is a master of tactics, timing, and precision. He knows how to exploit weaknesses, dismantle defenses, and finish opponents quickly and efficiently. IceMan, on the other hand, is not an elite martial artist. He has been trained in combat by the X-Men and has extensive battle experience, but his fighting style relies primarily on overwhelming power. He lacks the refined martial arts technique and fight reading ability of Sub-Zero. In a battle where elemental powers are partially neutralized, combat skill would be the deciding factor. Defense. Both are incredibly difficult to kill. Sub-Zero has extraordinary endurance and can survive severe injuries. But Iceman's survivability is on a completely different level. In his organic ice form, he is virtually immortal. Sub-Zero could punch Iceman into 100 pieces, but Iceman would instantly regenerate his body from those fragments. Sub-Zero could decapitate Iceman with an ice sword and nothing would happen. This is an almost insurmountable advantage. The battle. Sub-Zero, with his superior speed and skill, would launch the first attacks. He would rush in with a flurry of combos mixing punches, kicks, and ice balls. These strikes would connect, shattering chunks of ice from Iceman's body, but Iceman would not flinch. He would instantly regenerate the broken parts and retaliate with a massive ice wall, forcing Sub-Zero back. Realizing that conventional physical attacks are ineffective, Sub-Zero would change tactics. He would use his teleportation to appear behind Iceman and unleash an ice ball to try and freeze his entire body. But Iceman, capable of sensing temperature shifts at the molecular level, would easily anticipate and neutralize this attack. He might even absorb the cryogenic energy from Sub-Zero's attack to empower himself. This is when Iceman would begin his true counteroffensive. He would raise his hand and lower the temperature around Sub-Zero to near absolute zero. The ground beneath Sub-Zero's feet would freeze, and the air around him would turn into sharp ice crystals. Sub-Zero, with his resistance to cold, would endure longer than anyone else. But even he would start to feel the bone-chilling cold. His movements would begin to slow. Seizing the opportunity, Iceman would create dozens of ice duplicates of himself, much like Sub-Zero does, and surround his opponent. Sub-Zero would fight valiantly, destroying duplicate after duplicate with his martial arts skill, but this would be a diversion. The real Iceman would merge into the surrounding frozen environment and suddenly appear right behind Sub-Zero. Instead of throwing a punch, Iceman would place his hand on Sub-Zero's shoulder. He would not try to freeze Sub-Zero's body, knowing that might not work. Instead, he would use his thermodynamic manipulation to directly interfere with the cryogenic energy source within Sub-Zero's body, severing his connection to his cryomancer bloodline. This is a sophisticated and precise attack, something only an Omega-level mutant could execute. This is a battle that Iceman wins. Huai Liang is a magnificent warrior, one of the most powerful and honorable characters in the Mortal Kombat universe. His martial arts skill far exceeds Iceman's, and his cryomantic power is formidable. However, Iceman is simply on a completely different tier of power. He is an Omega-level mutant, an entity whose power is compared to gods and cosmic forces. His immortality in organic ice form makes him virtually unbeatable by conventional physical and elemental attack. And his ability to manipulate thermodynamics at the molecular level allows him to do things Sub-Zero simply cannot defend against. Sub-Zero could fight Iceman for a long time, causing him countless problems with his skill and cunning. But ultimately, he would not be able to overcome the disparity in power level. Iceman wins.
And that is our analysis of the battle between the Omega-level mutant of Ice and the Grand Master of Ice of the Lin Kuei. Let us know your thoughts by commenting down below. Are you on the side of the frozen mutant or the icy assassin? If you enjoy showdowns between elemental masters, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future epic battles. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next ones. That's today's video. Thank you so much.